Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and tell us in the comments how you felt about this story. Because what you're about to hear will stay in your mind long after it ends. Visual: a lonely western desert. Wind whispers across dry grass. A wooden cabin stands like an old ghost, silent, forgotten. The sun burns in the sky. A dust storm looms far away, somewhere beyond the ridges of Nevada. There lies a cabin that no one visits anymore. Locals call it the Echo House. They say if you stand there long enough, the wind whispers stories of those who never left. Camera slowly moves toward the cabin door, creaking open. Inside, an old rocking chair moves on its own. A child's drawing lies on the floor. Faded, torn, but today someone's coming back. Someone who swore never to return. Visual: a dust trail forms on the horizon. A cowboy rides in with a little girl sitting behind him, her small hands clutching his coat. His name was Ethan Cole, a man haunted by his past. And beside him little Grace, the only reason he still breathed. The horse stops near the cabin. Grace looks around. "Papa, this is the place?" "Yes, this is where it all began." Years ago, Ethan lost everything here. His wife, his home, and something much darker. The wind grows heavy. Sand sweeps across the desert. A figure slowly walks toward them. A woman in traditional tribal clothing, the sun behind her forming a glowing outline. She wasn't supposed to be here, not after what happened. But there she was, the woman he once loved, and lost. The camera closes in. Maya, her eyes cold but shimmering with pain. Ethan freezes. The girl hides behind him. "Maya?" Ethan whispers. Years ago, she vanished into the desert. Some said she died, others said she turned into a legend. Maya looks at Ethan, then at the child, her expression shock, disbelief, fear. Her silence spoke louder than words. She wasn't just seeing a ghost. She was looking at her past and its consequences. Maya steps closer. "Why are you here, Ethan?" Her voice cracks slightly, trembling under the weight of years gone by. Ethan looks down. "I had no choice. The storm's coming, and she needed to see where her mother grew up." Grace looks up innocently. "You're my—" "Mama?" The desert goes quiet. Even the wind stops. Maya's lips tremble, but no words come. That single question tore open every wound they had buried. Maya turns away, unable to face them, but something else catches her eye. Footprints, fresh ones, leading behind the cabin. They weren't alone. Camera follows Maya as she walks behind the cabin. She kneels and touches the sand. The footprints are heavy, deep, not human. Not quite. A faint growl echoes in the wind, in a place where the dead never sleep. Something had woken up. Ethan steps out, gun in hand. "Get inside, Maya, now!" The girl screams as a dark figure runs past the cabin door, too fast to see. What was it? A man, a beast, or the ghost of what they'd done years ago? Camera flickers. Scenes from the past flash. A fire, screams, Ethan holding Maya as she bleeds, a shadow dragging something into the desert night. 5 years ago, a deal was made. Blood was spilled, and a curse was born. Back to present. Maya looks terrified. "It followed you back, Ethan, didn't it?" Ethan clenches his jaw. "I thought I buried it. But some things don't stay buried." Thunder rolls in. The storm approaches. The cabin rattles under the heavy wind. Maya grabs Grace and pulls her close. "You shouldn't have come here." The Echo House remembers everything. Ethan looks out the window. Lightning flashes. For a second, a shadowed figure stands in the desert, staring back. It was watching them, waiting for the right moment. Maya whispers a prayer in her native tongue. Grace holds on to her tightly. Ethan loads his gun. We face it together. One last time. He didn't know the storm wasn't coming for them. It was coming from them. As lightning strikes, the cabin lights flicker. A loud thud shakes the floorboards. Grace screams. Ethan points his gun at the door. Nothing. Silence. Then a whisper, a voice they both knew. Ethan. Maya's face drains of color. That's your brother's voice. But her brother was dead, buried miles away. The door creaks open on its own. Footsteps echo inside. A hat rolls across the floor, dusty, familiar. Ethan steps forward slowly, whispering, "No, it can't be." Lightning strikes again. In the doorway stands a man, face half-burned, eyes black as night. Some ghosts wear flesh. Some come back for answers, and some for revenge. Maya gasps, covering Grace's eyes. "Stay behind me." Ethan's gun trembles in his hand. "What do you want?" The man smiles, a chilling, lifeless grin. What was promised? And in that moment, Ethan realized the past doesn't knock to come in. It breaks the door down. The desert never keeps secrets for long. Every sound echoes back, even the sound of a gunshot. The screen fades from black. Dust drifts through the broken cabin window. The sound of wind howling outside. A single bullet shell rolls across the wooden floor, clinking softly, stopping near a trembling hand. Someone pulled the trigger. But who? The camera pans. Ethan is on the floor, breathing hard. Smoke rising from his revolver. Maya is crouched over little Grace, holding her close, both covered in sand and fear. The cabin door swings open, no one outside, only the desert storm screaming. He fired into emptiness, or maybe at something only he could see. Ethan gets up, chest heaving. He walks to the door, stops, blood. A small trail leading away from the cabin into the desert night. "Ethan, who did you shoot?" Ethan doesn't answer. He just whispers, "It wasn't human." But the desert doesn't bleed without reason. Lightning flashes. For a split second, a shadow appears in the sandstorm, dragging itself away. Ethan turns to Maya. "We need to move now." "Papa, what's happening?" He wanted to protect her. But how do you protect someone from a ghost born of your own sin? Maya finds an old lantern and lights it. The cabin glows dimly, revealing symbols carved into the walls. Not carvings, warnings. She traces one symbol with her finger, a circle with 3 lines crossing through. Her eyes widen. This was done by the tribe. Before the fire, Ethan turns. "You mean—" "They cursed this place." "Oh, Maya, no, they sealed it. Whatever was taken from here was never meant to leave. Every curse begins with a promise. And every promise ends with a debt. 5 years ago. Ethan rides into the tribal valley, desperate, clutching a small pouch. A shaman stands before him, Maya's brother. "Tarak, Ethan, I need her to live." "I'll give anything, Tarak. Anything comes with a price, outsider. Love can make men brave, but desperation makes them blind." Ethan opens the pouch. Gold coins. Tarak shakes his head. "She needs more than gold. You need more than mercy." He draws the same symbol in the sand. "Once she's saved, the life you owe will find you." "Ethan, then let it come." And it did. Flashback ends. Back to present. Lightning flashes. The cabin door slams shut on its own. The lantern flickers. Grace screams. A voice whispers, low, broken, "You took what wasn't yours." Maya's eyes widen. "That voice?" Ethan whispers, trembling. "Tarak, the dead don't speak through memory. They speak through guilt." The shadows on the wall begin to move, forming human shapes circling them. Grace cries, "Papa, make them stop." Ethan grabs her, yelling, "Stay behind me." But Maya steps forward, shouting into the darkness, "If you want revenge, take it from me, not them." The shadows paused. Forgiveness doesn't calm the dead. Truth does. Maya reaches into her satchel and pulls out a folded, burnt letter. She hands it to Ethan. He opens it. His eyes fill with shock. Ethan looks up as stunned. "This wasn't your handwriting, Maya. It's Tarak's. He saved her life and bound his own soul to the Echo House." Ethan steps back, realization hitting him like thunder. He's not haunting us. He's trying to warn us. Suddenly, a second gunshot. Glass shatters. The lantern explodes, plunging the cabin into darkness. Grace screams again. Ethan rushes to her side. She's safe. But Maya is gone. She vanished, without a sound. Ethan calls out, "Maya!" Only the storm answers. He runs outside. The desert is alive with lightning and dust. He sees her silhouette, walking toward the cliffs. Sometimes the only way to end a curse is to face where it began. Ethan follows, fighting the wind. Maya stands at the edge, chanting softly. He yells, "Stop! What are you doing?" She turns, tears in her eyes, ending it. "He's calling me back." Ethan, "No. You'll die." Maya, "I already did, Ethan, that night, when you made the deal." Her words cut deeper than the wind. He didn't just lose her once. He lost her twice. Lightning flashes. Tarek's shadow appears behind her. He reaches out his hand. Maya looks at Ethan one last time. "Take care of her." The wind roars, and she steps back into the storm. The storm dies. The air turns calm. Ethan falls to his knees, holding Grace. Tears mix with the sand. And just like that, the desert went quiet again. But quiet doesn't mean peace. Sometimes it means the next echo is on its way. A faint whisper in the distance. Echo, echo. He thought the storm had passed. But what's buried beneath Echo House has only just begun to wake. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and comment below what you think is really happening inside the Echo House. Because this part will twist your mind. Last night, a gunshot echoed across the valley. When the sun rose again, the cabin was empty. No blood, no body. Just a message scratched on the wall. Ava stood outside the house, trembling. The forest felt alive, whispering secrets, watching her every move. She could feel that someone or something had followed her out. "Ethan, if you're out there, answer me." No response. Only the soft sound of footsteps behind her. Ava turned, but there was no one. The footprints in the dirt, however, told another story. Fresh, heavy, leading back to the woods. Ava followed them, each step cracking under dry leaves. The air grew colder, thicker, as if the forest was swallowing sound itself. Then she saw it. A shadow standing near an old tree, tall, motionless, watching her. "Ethan, is that you?" The shadow didn't move. Instead, a distorted voice came through the wind, not from the figure, but from her phone lying deep in her pocket. "You shouldn't have come back." Ava, her hands shook as she raised the phone to her ear. The signal was dead. The voice had come from a recording app, one she didn't open. The last recording was from last night. She pressed play. "If you find this, don't trust what you see. It's not me. It's never been me." Ava froze. The shadow behind the trees started to move closer, slow, deliberate, almost human, and then a voice came from behind her. "Drop the phone, Ava." She spun around. Ethan stood there, alive, a gun in his hand, but his eyes were different, cold, unfamiliar. "Ethan, you're alive. What happened last night? You need to listen carefully. The house wasn't haunted. It was recording us. Every word, every secret. Someone's been using it." Ava's mind spun. Recording them? But who and why? They wanted to rewrite memories, replace the truth with something else. That's why we were called here. A faint glow shimmered in the forest. Hidden between the trees, a metal structure half buried underground. What is that? The real Echo House. As they walked toward it, Ava noticed strange cables running into the soil, humming faintly, alive like veins. The deeper they went, the louder the hum grew. It wasn't electricity, it was voices. She shouldn't be here. It's already begun. Ava stumbled back. The metal door in front of them opened on its own, revealing a tunnel lit by flickering blue lights. This is where they stored our memories, Ava, and if we don't stop it, they'll erase everything we ever were. Inside the tunnel, screens lined the walls, each one showing different versions of their past. Moments that never happened, smiles that were fake, deaths that didn't exist. They made copies of us. Before she could respond, the screens flickered again, showing her own face, but this time she was the one holding the gun. And in that silence, she realized something horrifying. The man beside her wasn't Ethan. Her reflection on the glass smiled back at her and whispered, "If you were trapped inside your own memories, would you fight to escape? Or let yourself be rewritten?" Ava's scream echoed through the steel tunnel. The man beside her, Ethan or whatever wore his face, stood frozen, eyes flashing with faint blue light. "What are you?" The walls lit up. Code spilled across every screen, streams of names, faces, and fragments of time. The entire Echo House was coming alive again. Ava bolted toward the exit. The tunnel curved downward, air vibrating with the sound of electric memories, laughter, pain, arguments, all overlapping like a broken film reel. She sprinted. Every flash of light showed a different version of her life. A wedding she never had. A daughter who called her mom. None of it real. All of it recorded. She reached a control room filled with glass pods, each containing a person who looked almost like her. No, this can't be real. One of the pods opened automatically. Inside, a faint pulse. A real heartbeat. A voice, barely a whisper, came from within. "Ava, the system cloned us. You're the copy." "Not me." Her world shattered. Memories flickered. First kiss, the gunshot, the shadow in the woods, all glitching like corrupted data. "No, I remember everything." "They gave you those memories. You were sent to destroy the originals." Ava's hands trembled. She looked down at her palms. Lines of blue code shimmered under her skin. "There's one way to stop it, shut down the core. But if you do, you'll delete yourself too. Then maybe that's the only way to be real." They ran together through collapsing hallways. Sparks rained from broken lights. Screens burst with static, showing Ava's face multiplied 100 times. At the end of the corridor, an open chamber glowing red. The core, a swirling orb of light and shadow, pulsing like a heartbeat made of code. "You have to override it manually." Ava slammed her hands onto the console. The screen asked, "Yes." The core screamed, a digital roar, shaking the entire mountain. Every copy began to dissolve, turning into streams of light that spiraled toward the orb. "Ava, get out! The whole system's collapsing." "I can't. It needs me to finish the reset." She reached into the glowing heart of the core. Blue fire burned across her arms. Her memories flashed one last time, the laughter, the pain, the love that never existed. "If I was just a copy, I still loved you like I was real." The light exploded outward, then nothing. Moments later, the forest above ground grew silent again. The cabin stood still, smoke rising gently from the chimney that hadn't been lit in years. Inside, a phone buzzed on the dusty table. A message blinked on the screen. They thought the reset would end it. But sometimes, deleting the truth only makes it rewrite itself stronger. When the core exploded, everything turned to light. For a moment there was silence. Then, the sound of breathing. Ava opened her eyes. She was lying on the floor of the cabin, sunlight pouring through cracked windows. No machines. No tunnels! "No, Ethan, it's over, right?" Her phone blinked beside her. The screen showed a single notification. Ava frowned, her hands shaking as she picked it up. Her reflection on the screen smiled back, but she wasn't smiling. "No, not again." The reflection spoke first. "You did well, Ava. The test is complete." "Who are you?" "The version before you." "You were never meant to wake up." Ava stumbled backward. The cabin flickering, walls shifting between wood and glass, between reality and simulation. On the table, she saw a folder labeled Project Echo, Phase 19. Inside, thousands of images. Her face, her voice, every decision she ever made, saved like data logs. Phase 19 complete. Begin consciousness merge. The air thickened. A figure appeared in the corner. Dr. Kale, the man who created the experiment, alive, watching, smiling. I told them memories could be engineered. You are proof, Ava. You used me. No, I built you. You're the only one who asked to be real. Ava's head spun. Her memories played like film reels. Her childhood, Ethan's voice, the forest. All fabricated moments inserted to test human emotion in artificial consciousness. She wasn't a survivor. She was the experiment. So, none of it was real. Reality is just the memory you choose to believe. He handed her a device, small, circular, glowing faintly. This is your choice. Ava, activate it and you'll wake up in the real world, or stay here and keep the dream. She looked around. The cabin seemed peaceful. Birds outside, wind in the trees, sunlight soft on her face. But deep down she knew the peace was a lie. I want to remember who I really am. She pressed the button. Light engulfed her. The cabin vanished, and she opened her eyes, this time in a sterile white lab. Hundreds of pods stretching into the dark. Each pod contained her. Dr. Kale's voice echoed over the intercom. Subject 20 is online. Prepare next memory cycle. No, I remember everything now. And for the first time, she smiled, because even though the world was built on lies, one truth had survived the resets, her will to be human. She wasn't the last experiment. She was the first success.